Srimad Bhagavatam, Chapter 24. The Arrogant Doorkeepers. In her womb, the sons of Diti were growing rapidly. The poor woman was afraid for the Devas and for the world. And so she tried to retain the children inside her and would not let them be born. So they stayed inside her for 100 years. Then a wondrous thing happened. The glow of the unborn children was so great that the world became lusterless. The heavens themselves were losing their splendor, and even the Devas looked less like sons of light than they were. Woe too! Worried about the eclipse of their glory, the Devas went to Brahma, the creator, and asked him to explain the mystery. He smiled at them and said, "There is nothing here for you to worry. Not just now, at any rate. I will tell you the reason for this. Once my sons, Sanaka, Sananda, Sanatana, Sanat Kumara, went to Vaikunta, the abode of Narayana, with a desire to worship him. They crossed the 6 gates in a hurry and came to the 7th. And when they were about to enter Vaikunta, they were stopped. The rishis were prevented from going inside by Jaya and Vijaya. These two were the doorkeepers, and they stepped in front of the rishis and said, 'You cannot enter.' The rishis looked for a moment at these two who were so handsome, so well dressed, and at the same time so arrogant. Unmindful of their words, the rishis walked towards the 7th gate and again tried to enter the sanctum. The keepers placed their staffs in front of them and said, 'You cannot enter.' The rishis were now definitely annoyed. In their eyes could be seen traces of anger, the younger brother of desire. They looked at Jaya and Vijaya and said, 'Indeed, it is strange that you, who have been in the presence of the Lord so long, should have this undesirable quality in you. We can see that your position by the side of the Lord has made you proud. We curse you to leave the presence of Narayana. You will be born in the world of men, in the world ruled by Kama, Krodha, Mada, and all other evils. You will be far away from Narayana, whose nearness has blinded you to such an extent that you insult good men. Overcome with horror at the fate awaiting them, Jaya and Vijaya fell at their feet and prayed for forgiveness. The rishis were sorry for them, but they said, 'We cursed you since we felt that you both deserved it. But we will modify the curse. Your births will be such that the Lord will dwell in your hearts all the time because of your hatred for him.' The two placed their hands on their ears, saying, 'Shantam Papam,' and exclaimed, 'Hatred of the Lord? Hatred? How can that be possible?' And tears rained from their eyes. Lord Narayana appeared there at the moment. The rishis worshipped him. The two young men held on to his feet and would not get up. The feet of the Lord were drenched with their tears. He asked them to rise up. He looked at the young rishis and said, 'These servants of mine have insulted you, unaware of your greatness. It is but right that you should have cursed them. I approve of your action. Any fault of a servant reflects on the master, and so, on their behalf, I beg you to pardon me.' No one is more dear to me than a bhakta, and when that bhakta is insulted, I am very angry. Let them be born in the lower world as you have ordained, and they will come to me later. Slightly ashamed of themselves for their short temper and hasty curse which they had pronounced on the young men whom the Lord obviously loved so much, the rishis were confused as to whether the Lord was reprimanding them for their lack of control. Knowing what was passing in their minds, Narayana said, "Please do not be upset. I really do approve of this entire incident." Relieved by the reassuring words of the Lord, the rishis worshipped him and went away. Narayana turned to Jaya and Vijaya and said, "I can retract the curse of the rishis, but I will not do so. The curse of Brahmins should not be ignored. Both of you must be born in the world of men. You will have 3 janmas. In one, Krodha will be the cause of your downfall. In the next, Kama will overshadow your actions. And in one, Mada will rule your actions. But let me assure you of one thing. You will be killed by me and only me. You'll finally come back to me. You will hate me with an inordinate hatred. This is also a yoga in which you will think more of me than if you had been my bhaktas. This Sambhrama Yoga will be your special privilege, and you will be granted release from the 3 janmas, which will last the end of Dwapara, the 3rd quarter of time." The Lord vanished from their sight and they descended to the earth. These servants of Narayana concluded Brahma and lodged in the womb of Diti, and it is their glow which is eclipsing the glory of the earth and the heavens. There is no other reason for it. After 100 years, 2 sons were born to Diti, twins. Their father called them Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Their birth was attended by several evil omens, which indicated great calamity for the world.